This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Not good at all. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and back to reality. Back to reality. There's no other way to put it. The Angels, after the exciting win last night, we know how fun the show was last night, and how fun that walk-off with Zach Neto was tonight. But despite me having that beautiful bobblehead behind me, despite me trying to keep the vibes the same, wearing the exact same shirt as yesterday, the Angels come back down to earth with a, quite frankly, pretty embarrassing loss here. They lose 7-2. Really sloppy performance from the Halos. Offensively, awful. Whenever you needed a swing, whenever you needed a big at-bat, they never came through. The defense was poor in this one. The bullpen was brutal again, as always, and I thought Ray Montgomery had a pretty bad game managing this team as well. So really very few positives. There's maybe one that I'll mention at the end of the show, but just a rough loss. There's no other way to put it. Back to reality. I've said it 3 or 4 times already. The moral of the story is the Angels are still a team that's 5 games under 500, still a team that's 5.5 games back in the AL wild card race. And with the deadline less than a week away, now like 5 days away, all signs are pointing to what we all know, selling at the deadline. But still some things we need to talk about in this one, because meaningful stuff going on with this team, even in losing efforts. We've got big-time injuries to talk about. We have big-time trade chips performing both really well and really poorly. So certainly plenty to talk about. And as always, shout out to everybody in here. I see Fury, I see Trevor, I see David, I see Larry, Skyler, Nathan, Fut Alex. Angels win. A lot of the familiar faces. Roman's in here. Naren's in here. A lot of people in here. So really appreciate everyone in here as always. Make sure to show your support, hit the like button, comment, all that good stuff. But without further ado, let's get right to it. And I was kind of conflicted on where I wanted to go with this one. And it's going to be a kind of a combo segment to start this one.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's the turning point, but it's also this. Oh, my scooter.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Yeah, because there is a turning point in this ball game. I think it's the bottom of the 5th inning. I'll tell you why. But the moral of the story is that's in combination with what I want to talk about, which is trends starting to really pile up for this team. A lot of the same things. You see me here on the screen with bullpen and defense poor late again in all caps. Horrible high leverage hitting kills us again in all caps, right? It's the same things for this team. Earlier in the season, we were yelling about the strikeouts, right? We were yelling about the starting pitching maybe not being that great. But as of late, really, especially since the All-Star break, it's been pretty clear. This team is running out of gas when it comes to their bullpen, when it comes to their arms, which is both at the fault of the bullpen arms themselves. It's at the fault of Ray Montgomery, and it's at the fault of management of this franchise, right? If you look at the personnel available as well. That's a trend that continues in this one. The late game fielding, questionable mistakes. Only one error tonight officially, but there were multiple plays on the field that had you scratching your head. And then the late game or the clutch hitting, once again, just not good for this team, right? So that's what I'm talking about in this game. But really, it all happened in one moment. And that's why the turning point, in my opinion, really feels like the bottom of the 5th inning. You say, how can it be the bottom of the 5th when the Angels tie the game at 2? Shouldn't you be satisfied tying the game at 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning, setting up another coin flip game, Gavin coin flip Carlson here, right? Shouldn't you be satisfied? Well, no, I'm not going to be satisfied because once again, there's an opportunity to have a big inning, but you're only able to muster up one run. Then later in the ball game, you have an opportunity to have a huge inning and you don't score a single run, right? And it's because of the same issues with this team, with this lineup. It is home run or bust for this offense. And it's great that you can hit the home run. It's great that you can have 3-run shots and 2 home runs in an inning, right? And you can make any deficit manageable, right? But at the same time, you also can fumble an inning like this away where any competent team should be scoring multiple runs in the bottom of the 5th. They should be scoring at least 1 run when you have the bases juiced in the bottom of the 6th, and the Angels didn't do it. So bottom of the 5th, that's where the turning point starts, and it starts on a great note. Logan O'Hoppe with the base hit. He had earlier in this game, he had a hard hit ball that Julio Rodriguez made a great play. Boy, oh boy, is he starting to piss me off because he's been unbelievable in this series. Then Rengifo makes it back-to-back singles. O'Hoppe gets to third. We've got first and third with nobody out. Rengifo steals second. So you're telling me that the Angels have second and third with nobody out. And yes, does it suck that in that huge spot, we've got a random guy in Lamont Wade coming up, right? Sorry, no offense to him, but in big 2025, I don't want to look at Lamont Wade with runners on second and third and nobody out in what feels like a must-win game, a must-win series, a must-game stretch, right? Unsurprisingly, because he is A, not a good hitter, and B, on this Angels team, he strikes out when at the very least you need a productive out. And I'm going to sound like a broken record because I say this every game, and I'm going to say it 5 times tonight. At least get a productive out, and the Angels can never do it. They can never do it. It's unbelievable how bad this team is. God forbid. I don't even ask for a base hit from Lamont Wade to score 2, right? I'm just asking for a productive out, and this team so rarely gets it done. Lamont Wade, 2-2 pitch. He strikes out on a splitter. Is it a good pitch? Yes. But the moral of the story is choke up the dang bat. Find a way to make contact. Just find a way. I don't want to hear the excuses. Find a way to make contact. He does not. And it's funny. I'm not a big fan of win probability or whatever, but you look at this and they're telling me that they being MLB.com is telling me that the Angels had like a 60% chance of winning this game when you have second and third with nobody out down by a run because they're assuming there's no way you don't score 2 runs this inning, right? Lamont Wade strikes out. Zach Neto comes up. And again, I would love for Zach Neto to have a 2 RBI single. But if there's one guy you're not going to complain about not coming through, it's Zach Neto. We've got the bobblehead behind me. He was unbelievable yesterday, of course. He's been our best player. He's the face of the franchise. That is official. And again, he still is the face of the franchise because at least he can get a productive out. We get a 1-out sac fly from Zach Neto. O'Hoppe scores when Rengifo gets to third. Not to mention the ball was crushed. It went to the wall. Julio Rodriguez makes a play at the wall. It wasn't one of his crazy catches that we're used to seeing him make against us, but still at the wall, 390 feet on the swing, 100 exit velo. Neto just missed it. So you absolutely cannot be mad at him. But the moral of the story is it should have been a sac fly from Lamont Wade to make it 2-2, and it should have been Neto having a sac fly to make it 3-2, right? Instead, because of the strikeout, you get the sac fly from Zach Neto. That makes it 2-2. And then Mike Trout, I know. He comes up with the runner in scoring position and 2 outs. You need a base hit, and he's back to slumping, folks. He's been real rough, outside of getting walks, and he's rough again there. He grounds out to Williamson, and that ends the inning. That's turning point number 1, or that's the beginning of the turning point, because it really should have been 3-2 Angels going into the 6th, right? It really should have been. But instead, it's just 2-2. Then we make matters worse because, again, all aspects of this game, every aspect, the fielding, the pitching, the hitting, and the managing, all poor. And this is the best example, right? This entire stretch, poor situational hitting there. You only get 1 run when you really should have gotten 2. Then, I don't know why in the world, somebody explain to me, I really would love to know, why Ray Montgomery elects to take Bachman out here. It makes no sense to me. It really makes no sense. I'm already upset with how early our starters get pulled. It happened again yesterday. Would have loved to see Soriano. He had like 87 pitches when he gets taken out of the game. He was absolutely dealing. He had really 2 bad pitches, and one of them wasn't even a bad pitch on one of Julio's home runs yesterday. It wasn't even a bad pitch. You didn't let him go deep into the game, but whatever, the bullpen came through. But guess what, Ray Montgomery? We feel the effects of a decision like yesterday, even when you win yesterday's game, because you're relying on what I learned today is the second worst bullpen in the American League. Only the A's are worse. It's the second worst bullpen in the American League, and I feel like we rely on our bullpen as much as anybody. As much as anybody, right? This isn't the Giants with Rodriguez and Miller and Rogers and Doval, right? This isn't the Mariners, right? With Munoz. And, and I'm blanking on the other guy's name, but this isn't even the Mariners, right? This isn't even an average bullpen. This is a horrible bullpen. The second worst bullpen in baseball. And yet, Ray Montgomery relies on it more than anybody. And again, you got lucky that the bullpen played great yesterday, but we all know they're not going to play great back-to-back games. We all know they're not going to do it. So you take out Tyler Anderson, probably a little bit earlier than I would like to have seen. I'm trying to find how many pitches he had. Give me 1 second. He was only at 88 pitches. Only at 88 pitches. Explain to me why you're taking him out of this ball game in the middle of an inning where he's playing just fine. I mean, top of the fifth, he gets Williamson, he gets J.P. Crawford. I get it. You've got a righty and Julio Rodriguez in. I get it. He's absolutely scorching hot. And I get it. Sam Bachman comes in and gets the out. But you have to do one of two things, Ray Montgomery. There's one of two things you have to do. You either have to leave Tyler Anderson in, which I think you should do. You should give your starting pitcher the opportunity to close out an inning where he's looked perfectly fine when he's under 90 pitches. I don't care if there's a righty coming up. Leave him in. Or if you're going to be so analytics that you just have to bring in the righty, have to bring in Sam Bachman with 2 outs in the inning already when Anderson has less than 90 pitches. If you're so scared of Julio right now and you're so into analytics that you need the righty to come in against the righty, fine. Bring Bachman in. And guess what? He did, and he got the out. But then there's no way you take him out the next inning. Sam Bachman. And again, it's really the state of the bullpen is awful when he's one of your best relievers right now. But he's one of your best relievers right now, and he has 2 pitches today. 2 pitches tonight. He comes in, he gets Julio Rodriguez on 2 pitches, and then he's pulled. What? Hello? Am I living in the same universe as Ray Montgomery? Tell me I'm not. Tell me something is going on. I don't understand. He brings in Jose Fermin, who has been brutal, who's given up a home run, I think, in now his last 4 appearances or something like that. He's struggling, and I get it. The other argument is, hey, you really want to bring Fermin in a clean slate, not in a high leverage spot. You want to bring him in when there's nobody on base, top of an inning. Cool. Then let Bachman pitch the 6th. And if you really want Fermin to pitch in a clean inning so bad, then you can bring him in the 7th. But there is no way that you use a bullpen arm for 2 pitches. 2 pitches in Sam Bachman. He gets 2 pitches, and then you have to use another reliever in Fermin. Then my question becomes, well, guess what? What do you do if Fermin struggles? He's been brutal. You're bringing him in, so you have to at least consider the possibility that he's going to struggle. And then what? You don't get to bring a Sam Bachman in. You already wasted him for 2 pitches. Or you only used him for 2 pitches. You already wasted him. He's unavailable. And so, yes, surprise, surprise, Fermin comes in the ball game, and he immediately gets raked. Cal Raleigh, the best catcher in baseball, one of the best players in baseball, having one of the best seasons we've ever seen, comes in, and he absolutely destroys one off of Fermin, who just comes in and has an absolutely abysmal bullpen performance. Throws 2 balls nowhere near the zone. He has no control of the slider. He didn't trust the fastball in his last outing. He gave up a home run on the fastball, immediately threw sliders the rest of the inning, right, to get out of that inning in his last outing. Comes in this one, throws 2 sliders. Neither of them are close, so he's all right, it's 2-0. The slider's not working. I have one other pitch. It's my fastball. I got to use it, and he grooves one. A fastball right there to Cal Raleigh, who absolutely destroys it. 114 exit velo, 416 feet. And just like that, the lead is gone. It's 3-2 Mariners. But he's going to turn things around, right? Nope, he can't locate the fastball, and the first pitch is low. Then he can't locate the slider. 2 pitches in the dirt, nowhere close. It's 3-0 to Arozarena. We get an absolute brutal call on a high and in fastball. Should have been ball 4. Somehow, with how wild Fermin's been, he gets that strike call. Then he hangs a slider, and Arozarena doesn't swing at it. Throws a fastball right down the middle that gets fouled off. And then ball 4 is nowhere near the zone. It bounces before the plate on a slider. So you come in, you give up a homer, you walk the next guy on about 6 balls, right? And the pitches that were strikes were right down the middle. Arozarena then steals second, and then you walk Josh Naylor on 5 pitches, none of them close to the freaking zone. None of them close to the zone. So then, surprise, surprise, Ray Montgomery, you got to make a pitching change because you wasted Bachman for 2 pitches as if you're acting like you have 15 relievers that you can use that are all amazing. You've got like 1 competent reliever right now in Kenley Jansen. You got 1 decent reliever in Reed Detmers, and you've got a bunch of wild cards. And you're acting like you've got 4 aces in the bullpen. 2 pitches for Bachman. He's gone. Fermin comes in, doesn't record an out, leaves 2 on base and gives up a home run. Then you got to pull him. Surprise, surprise. It's a great idea to give him a clean inning. Didn't work out. And then you bring in Connor Brogdon. And no offense to Connor Brogdon, but the guy to come in when there's 2 guys on base and nobody out, your high leverage reliever is Connor freaking Brogdon. No offense to him. It's not his fault that he has to be used in a situation like this. But when you waste a Bachman, Fermin just lays an egg, when it's the 6th inning and you're doing all of this because you take out your starter way too early, are you surprised when things go to crud? Are you surprised when things go to blank, to beep, to whatever? To name the 4-letter word. Come on, man. So then Brogdon comes in. He immediately walks the next guy, of course, because he wants me to lose my mind. He gets a pop-up on Mitch Garver, gets a gift there. I don't even remember if that was the pop-up where, I think that was the pop-up where I have it in the thumbnail. Neto and Rengifo almost collide. Actually, I don't think that was the pop-up. Either way, they almost collide later in this game, I believe. And then with 2 outs, you think maybe Brogdon's going to get out of it. Bases juiced. And really unlucky. It wasn't, I don't know why Canzone is swinging at this pitch 0-1, change up nowhere near the zone. For some reason, he swings at it. He hits it so barely well, but it finds the hole. Arozarena scores. Naylor scores. Polanco to third. It's 5-2. Brogdon gets a strikeout on Williamson. You're thinking, okay, he came in a tough spot. Maybe he's going to get out of it. 2 outs. He does his job. It's a hard hit ball, but it's hit right to Rengifo. And Rengifo blows it. Fielding error, the only error of the game, but there were plenty poor fielding plays in this one. That makes it 6-2, and at this point, the ball game's over. The fans are doing the wave because they know there's not even a game to watch. It's over. It's 6-2. It's over. Over. Bottom of the 6th comes, and one last time, you think there's life. Shawano with a leadoff single. Ward strikes out, but then Adele with a base hit. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Moncada gets drilled. Good to hear that, the x-rays are negative on him. Bases juiced for Logan O'Hoppe with how many outs, guys? 1. Guess what we need? Guess what we need? Just take 1 guess, folks. Productive out. Productive out. The golden phrase of the night, of every night. We just need a productive out. And O'Hoppe, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Frustrating. But Rengifo gets the bases loaded, 2 outs. He gets to a full count. Full count, big pitch, slider, like a foot below the zone, swing and a miss. Bases juiced. The tying run is at the plate with 1 out, and he goes strikeout, strikeout. And at that point, the ball game's over, and we know it's over. We know it's over. There was more foolishness in this ball game, but at that point, it was over, and that's the turning point, and that's what we're talking about. It's the same stuff with this team. You have a horrible bullpen, and your manager relies on it too much. And you've got horrible clutch hitting when every game you play is close. It's not a recipe for consistent wins. And boy, oh boy, does this feel like the last straw with the deadline looming. We're going to finally take our break 19 minutes before the break. So I'll be honest, this segment after the break is going to be very close. I've been going way over on every show. But this team, boy, oh boy, they're making me frustrated. We will talk about... I don't even know what's left. I guess we'll talk about the injuries real quick, the deadline, Taylor Ward, of course, we got to talk about him. We'll do all of that somehow in 5 minutes after our break here on another losing edition, and you can tell I'm pissed off, edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'll be right back. Now, today's show is brought to you by Gametime. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? I literally did that yesterday. Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes it possible. Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple because prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And today's show is also brought to you our wonderful new sponsor, Game Day Hue. Man, oh man, Game Day Hue, it hits the mark, right? Game Day Hue makes clean, no logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. I don't know if you've seen John, he's been rocking the white with the red rope Game Day Hue hat during the Daily Show. It looks clean. And then what I love, it's not just hats. They have these amazing split shade gloves, made for the golf course. It's the perfect gift for the fan who has everything else. So right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GameDayHue.com. That's GameDayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals, so now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. That's GameDayHue.com, code MLB15. Back here live on another pissed off, frustrated edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. You can tell I'm fired up, and I know you guys are as well, because this team not only is losing quite a bit, but they're just doing it in the same frustrating ways, and it really feels like they're just doomed to make the same mistakes, right? I mean, part of it, again, is not the players' faults. When you're relying on Fermin to be a high-leverage reliever, when you're relying on Connor Brogdon to be a high-leverage reliever. Carson Fulmer actually has a solid outing tonight, but still, the bullpen was atrocious, right? And Tyler Anderson would love for him to get deeper into the ballgame, but he's also not really given a chance to get deeper in the ballgame because he's pulled with less than 90 pitches with 2 outs. And mind you, this is not just your average bullpen usage. This is a bullpen that, oh, by the way, has to be our 5th starter every other series because you don't have a 5th starter right now. I mean, the roster construction is just abysmal. You might as well, and I know John has been talking about on the Daily Show, you might as well pick up some hobo off the streets to be your 5th starting pitcher instead of using this bullpen for bullpen games. And I get it. They're saying on Monday they're not going to use a bullpen game. Well, guess what? What are they going to do? We'll see what starter it is. The moral of the story is no matter what, whoever's going to be on the mound, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Now, the only quote-unquote good thing you can really say comes from this ball game is the performance of Taylor Ward. You know, I know, we all know that Taylor Ward should be traded in about 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. By the time John and I are live doing that live special trade deadline special live stream, he better be traded, folks, or you will hear me scream at the top of my lungs on that deadline show because he's been playing great as of late. And boy, oh boy, we need to cash in because we know we're not doing anything this season. He comes through today. He does have 2 strikes. It's just the typical Taylor Ward performance, and that's why I'm not going to be crushed when we lose him. No offense to him. He's been one of the best players on the team, but he's just another version of what we already have, which is plenty of slug, but also way too much strikeout and not enough base hits, not enough good fielding, not enough base running, right? But he was good tonight. He does strike out twice, but he has 2 hits, including the solo shot, his 24th of the year. So, of course, he gets an RBI and a run on the solo shot. The average is 233. The OPS is just under 800 at 796. And that's really the only positive in this game is hopefully we can get rid of him and get a lot of value for him because I'm going to miss him in the sense that he has been one of our best hitters for years, right? But the moral of the story is that really sums up the state of this team. If he's one of the best hitters on your team for years and he also doesn't contribute in any other aspect. Sean, well, he came through once again. He's just so consistent, so Mr. Reliable. Another 2 for 4 for him. Zach Neto doesn't have a hit, and yet he's still one of the 4 or 5 best performers tonight because he does have an RBI on the sac fly, and he does get on via the walk as well. Trout, he's always going to get on base at least once, it feels like, did get the walk, but he also struck out and didn't get a hit. Adele with a base hit was good to see that. He had a walk as well. Hopefully that average can get back up, that OPS can get back up, because he is one guy we are certainly not going to deal, and we need him to heat up. Moncada, the only good news with him is that he's not hurt long-term. He got drilled in the hand. It looks really scary, but think he's going to be okay. Ohapi with a 1-for-4 tonight with a run. Rengifo with a 1-for-4, but he was pretty darn bad on the field with a costly error. And Lamont Wade, surprise, surprise, went 0-for-4 with 2 strikeouts. But again, the only real positive, Taylor Ward, 2-for-4 with a homer. Let's get something for him at the deadline. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Shout out to everybody in here. A lot of faces, a lot of comments despite the loss. I appreciate you guys so much. As always, leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. Yes, Medeiros might start. Rumors Kohanowitz might be coming back as the 5th starter. David and Eric are saying we'll see what it is. But the moral of the story is I'm not feeling good about it either way. And at this point, I think we all agree it's time for a fire sale. Hopefully we can cash in. And I think we can. I really do think we can cash in on a Taylor Ward. And if we're smart, at Kenley Jansen as well. We're going to wrap it up. Shout out to everybody in here. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. Again, celebrate. It's the weekend. We all work hard during the week. We all need a break on the weekend, and don't let a loss like tonight ruin your weekend. If you're thinking about the Angels while trying to enjoy the rest of your night, think about last night, because boy, oh boy, how amazing was that. But shout out to everybody. Appreciate you guys. Your boy Muse saying that this fan base is doomers because we're 5 games under with 57 games left and we're losing it. The moral of the story is the way we lose is frustrating. And I'm more so frustrated that we're not putting this team in a position to succeed, right? So it's as much that we're not succeeding, but also we're failing in the same ways. And some of them could have been, managed properly by having a better roster construction. We're not asking to have Garrett Cole and Tarek Skubal, and, we're not saying that. Just have a competent 5th starter, right? Just have a manager that understands that if you don't have a great bullpen, you can't rely on them every freaking inning, right? That's all I'm saying. So I'm not trying to be a doomer. I'm just being real. The moral of the story is I'm a fan just like you guys, and there's no way that a majority of the fan base isn't feeling the same way. You're saying your point is not sell. We have to sell. We have to sell. And I'm not saying fire sale, sell everybody that's got a pulse on this team, but you have to sell a Taylor Ward when free agency is looming. You have to sell a Kenley Jansen when he's 1,000,000 years old and valuable, and you're not going to win. You have to. You can still maybe, do you really think that you get rid of those guys and the team falls apart? No. If they fall apart after you trade those 2 guys, then guess what? They were already going to fall apart. I'm getting into another rant. I can't. I got to end the show. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 1 p.m. first pitch. Expect the show around 4 p.m. Have a great rest of your Saturday and take care. Go Angels.